And we are back now. Hope you enjoyed the duct tape. Hope you enjoyed the clips. Hopefully, it didn't bring up too many, bittersweet high school memories. Question mark.
Chase. F's in the chat for Chase. Fun facts. We are actually going to be casting together once again. It's been months since I've casted with Chase, but I do have him slotted in to cast this weekend.
Yeah, and now the LEs can't hurt him anymore.
Oh no, they'll find a way.
oh.
Smurge, Buffy, smurge. Oh god. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed those duct tapes because we all needed to get ready here, get our bodies ready for the grand finals, the finals that we've seen before, I think even in the ESL Open Cup Asia tournaments. But mate, we just can't get sick of it.
Oh yeah, there's a reason why this has been a bit of a rivalry, at least in Legacy of the Void. One of the most interesting player dynamics, I think, at least in a TVZ matchup. Well, actually, yeah, just overall, especially in the TVZ matchup. Dark versus ByuN in a best of 5.
Oh boy, let's go, Papi, let's go. You just said it. As a reminder, this is the grand finals, and because of that, it is going to be a best of 5, not a best of 3.
Be jumping on in. It's a new patch too.
It is. It's the new patch, and map number 1 is gonna be on Tropical Sacrifice.
Oh, bit more of a defensive map coming in here, so yeah, maybe we will be able to see some of those late game units that have been adjusted in the current patch. But for now, we are going to be jumping into Tropical Sacrifice, where in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in that bottom left-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. He is Dark.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice, we have his opponent, the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. I also want to apologize because in the webcam scene, I did have ByuN as Protoss, but no, he's Terran.
And we're going back to like 2010 days.
Yeah, he is not one of those players that has decided to off-race a little bit in tournaments. He is not a Rainer, he is not a Dark, he's not a Maru. Shaking my head. But he is opening up in a very interesting manner here. We see this on some of the other maps. I've seen people do this on Moondance, on Stargazers, but we have a low ground wall being set up already.
Are you sure he's not Protoss?
Maybe he thinks he is. Maybe.
So reverting back to when he played in the beta.
Yeah, exactly. So we do have ByuN opening up with a bit of a 2-racks here. He's going to be amassing an amount of Reapers to go across the map and deal and be aggressive. Behind this, he's also safe and free, not just to expand, but because of these spawn locations, his add-ons will be safe behind the wall instead of in front of the wall.
Yeah. It's going to be a little bit awkward, lifting the barracks. The SimCity isn't the most standard or orthodox in the world, but like you said, he's going to be a lot safer with his add-ons. He's committed to the Reaper production. Interesting.
Yeah, he's going to make more than a handful of Reapers here. I've seen Special do this quite a bit. We see Dark actually sending out 2 drones here to expand just to make sure he at least gets his third base up on time. You love to see it. So far, the control is good enough. He does end up saving all of his workers.
Yeah, including the worker that's eventually, just like so, going to be turned into a third base.
Yep, there we go. Third base is going to be on the way. We had 6 Lings being morphed in here because, again, Dark did confirm the second racks across the map. We do see a couple of Lings going down, but only some Lings. The drones have all been saved, and Dark, for the time being, has held.
Yeah, for now. He's well aware that 3 Reapers are still very much up on his face, or up in his face. ByuN's making absolute full use of them while he still can.
Yeah, and ideally you want to be dealing some drone damage with this because you're committing so hard to these Reapers. It looks like one Reaper is going to get picked up.
Oof. Man, I miss the 2016 Reapers, where you could get 3 of them and just 2 or 3 shot queens.
Yeah. That was the case. You do see one drone going down here, so not too bad from ByuN. He isn't just killing drones and he isn't just killing lings, he's also forcing more lings to be made here. So this isn't designed to really snowball, it's just designed to get a little bit ahead economically.
Yeah, we saw in Dark Series against Cure in particular just how out of hand Zerg can get if they get such an early lead in the economy, and ByuN does not want to make that same mistake.
Exactly. Meanwhile, after those initial 3 Reapers back at home, we see the reactor, we see the tech lab as well. We already have Stim on the way, so this is all kind of leading up towards a 2-1-1. Yeah. Oh no, never mind. Mate, look how many racks is
That's a 4 racks. In the main base, 2 tech labs,
Jesus.
2 reactors, or eventually we'll have 2 reactors, but for now, ByuN is just going mass marine on Tropical Sacrifice on all maps. The map which has one of the longest rush distance in the current pool.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, I assumed that this would at least go into a 3 racks. 3 racks builds, have risen in popularity a couple of months ago, but going into a 4 racks 2 base all in, he has a mass amount of marines. This has not been scouted, by the way. Dark didn't get into the main base, and he hasn't been able to confirm the overall marine count.
I think I like this for ByuN. Dark only has lings to defend. He doesn't have a Baneling Nest. He doesn't have a Roachhorn or anything. Other than that, he's getting +1 Carapace, but I don't really think it's going to come into play. He doesn't have that many queens either. Yeah. And the queens that he does have like no energy on them.
But he just scattered the build here. The boys are being pulled again. ByuN is Giga all in right now. We have a lot of lings on the way, but only Ling Queen, no Banelings.
Once again, ByuN is going to be very conservative with his sim. I say that, but he just activated it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit premature with his first sim, but there we go. His SCVs are doing a decent job at buffering for his Marines. A lot of the lings are going to be going down, and now he can target down the Queens.
Like so, all the drones have gone down as well. In fairness, so did the SCV buffer. Dark is setting up a couple of defenses. He's getting spines in his natural base, but I'm not convinced it's going to be enough here.
Yeah, he gets on top of every single one of these queens. He's on top of the production as well. He's waiting for these eggs to hatch to clean up every single one of these things. The 3rd hatchery is going to be going down, and we still have reinforcements coming across the map. Dark just tried to go for a Ling run by, but he runs into another wall of Marines.
Yeah, once again, ByuN being patient with his reinforcements. He's not trickling them in one by one and having them picked off one by one either.
Yeah, exactly. We see another Stim. He wants to try and get on top of these queens, and there is a spine crawler on the high ground. The boys are being pulled once again. The Marines are getting very low.
Yeah, the surround on the Lings looked pretty dang good, and as you said, the Marines are low enough that queens and spine crawlers can one-shot them one by one. The micro from ByuN, though, is as incredible as always, and GG will be called. ByuN takes a very cheeky game number 1 in this best of 5 grand finals.
GG, do not show this to Asher. ByuN going for a 2-base mass marine all-in on Tropical Sacrifice. That's crazy just because of how large of a map Tropical Sacrifice is. You have a lot of room, you have a lot of time to respond, you have a lot of room to try and scout this as well, but Dark didn't see this until it was halfway across the map, so he had very little time to respond, to throw down spine crawlers, to make lings, to make more queens, to get in position. Obviously, we should have tried to just give up the 3rd base completely because ByuN was all in, and to throw down as many spines as possible, but again, Dark just had very little time to react.
Yeah. He saw the initial 2 Raxes, he had his Overlord chased away by a single Marine, and from there, usually that's enough of a tell for Zerg players, Usually, Terran players from there are going for a 3 Rax or maybe even a 3-run one. A bit more economic focus, but not ByuN. He does things a little different.
He does do things a little bit different, so very well done there by ByuN, just to keep his build hidden for as long as possible, and as a result, Dark was bamboozled. A major part of StarCraft, it is a game of information or misinformation. You have to try and piece together what your opponent is doing so you can respond, especially as a reactive race like Zerg. So yeah, very explosive way for ByuN to start off the series.
Yeah. Perhaps an omen for the series to come.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm ready. Oh god, I may be Zerg, but you know who isn't a fan of ByuN?
Yeah. Dark.
True. That's actually true.
Anyway, we are now going to be jumping into Moondance for game number 2 of a best of 5 grand finals. We're in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way. In that top left-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. He is Dark.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Moondance, we have his opponent, the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Once again, going for the low ground wall.
Once again going for a 4x? Question mark?
I think he can mix things up. I was talking about it earlier. From a 2-racks opener, you can go into a 2-on-1. You can go into a 3-racks as well, which isn't anywhere near as all-in or committed. But the mind games are real. To be fair, this is a lot more common on Moondance.
Yeah, it definitely is. Wait, you mean a low ground wall?
Yeah. Like the
okay.
2-racks
I thought you were like, yeah, I thought you were gonna say, oh yeah, 4x all in. Those are super common on Moondance. I'm like, yeah, I buy that, even though I've never seen it.
Shaking my head. Meanwhile, I don't know if you noticed, but Dark actually opened up with a pool first, and we see why. He goes to the pool, he goes for his hatch, his gas, he's going for the Roach Warren.
The gloves are off. Dark tried to play an honorable macro game in game number 1, and then he got 4x. Now, we're going to have a full 5-game series, and none of these games are going to be longer than like 10 minutes.
We've had a pretty short broadcast today. It's only been 2 hours.
What?
It's only been 2 hours since we went live, and we're already in the grand finals, where we could already be towards the end of the grand finals. As the first Reaper is rushing across the map. Now, to be fair, because of this build from ByuN, he's going to get a lot of scouting information early on. Can he get eyes on that Roach Warren?
He's about to, I think he pulled away just before he saw it. Yeah, he pulled away just before he got in vision.
He didn't see the Roach Warren, but he saw the second gas, and that is very suspect. There's no reason for a second gas unless we're going for like 2-base lair for 2-base mutas, or if we're going into roaches. So ByuN can piece this together.
Yeah, and thankfully he is building a bunker, but the bunker is so exposed. That's a... Why?
Because where else are you going to put it? Behind your production? Because of his SimCity, like, it's really awkward here to defend.
Yeah, he had to make a yeah, he would have had to make a choice, give up his production and have a bit of a safer position, or give up his safe position and defend his production for a little while longer. In fairness, if he is able to buy himself some time, if he is able to stem the tide of these roaches with his Reapers by just even a little bit, then I think it could work out for him. The bunker's already out.
Yeah, bunker is done. We already have one Marauder in the bunker as well. Marauder production commenced as soon as ByuN saw the roaches. I'm curious if this is a build order win or not for Dark, by the way. I really want to see if ByuN can pull off this defense. Oof. Oof.
Yeah, it depends entirely on... yeah, I was gonna say, no, it's not a build order win. You know, it depends on how well ByuN is able to repair that bunker and micro, and yeah, no, Dark proves that it might just be a build order win.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, typically, how do you defend against this? You give up your natural, right? You give up the natural and you defend on your main base using that ramp. But that is impossible because of where the production is. We have to commit to a defense on the low ground.
And even committing to that defense, I don't think it's going to work out for him. ByuN loses half of his production regardless.
He does lose his production. Yo, but the target firing, a lot of the Ravagers are being focused down. 2 Ravagers do end up falling. The Biles are going to try and stem the tide here. A 3rd Ravager goes down.
Yeah, there's some really, really good use of concussive shells here from ByuN.
Yeah.
Just really slowing down whatever units he can. Still loses a couple of SCVs, but this is still okay for him.
Yeah, it's not amazing, but ByuN is still ahead in the workers, you know, because of how all-in Dark is. He's still making more roaches and lings, by the way. Like, ByuN, he's barely holding. He needs another bunker, though. I don't think he realizes that Dark is committed, that he's rallying everything across the map.
Yeah, ByuN, I think, is thinking that he's safe right now, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, we have a lot of lings getting ready for a surround. They're going to be coming in from a bit of a flank here. Dark wants to draw the army out, and he's going for it.
Yeah, thought about it, but he's waiting for a bit more of a favorable position, a bit more of a favorable engagement. Okay, not quite this.
I mean, ByuN, he's deep out on the map right now. He has to commit to a fight. He's going to be losing every single one of these units, and I don't know if it's really worth it here. He got 2 Ravagers, and now Dark once again is going to be committed to this attack.
Yeah, he's pushing with everything he's got now. They are still slow links, but considering the rush distance of Moondance, I'm not sure if that's going to make that much of a difference. The bunkers are out, but they're not done yet. GG is called Dark. It's going to be able to tie up our series sideways 1-1. This is why ByuN versus Dark is such a sick rivalry.
GG, well played. Oh my god. So Dark shows us all why this isn't a very standard way to open as Terran. When you go for your bunkers on the low ground at your natural, they are exposed, and you have to try and protect them, because that is your production. You cannot afford to give up the low ground, because if you do, I mean, you're dead anyway. So against this kind of roach aggression, these roach all-ins that Dark committed to early on, he just read that ByuN would go for this.
Yeah, he dug into his brain.
He did. He was able to scoop out a roach. He was able to scoop out an answer. And yeah, as you said, we're tied up 1-1.
Cool. All right, let's keep this going. Let's keep the all-ins going.
Pretty much, mate. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So yeah, here we go. We're going to be getting into game number 3 here. It's hard to predict how the series is going to go, because we haven't really learned too much from our players, other than, of course, like how aggressive they are. But on a map like Data Sea, I imagine we're going to get a more standard game.
Yeah, we were really hoping for some late game plays here, so we could really see how the patch changes things, but so far we haven't seen anything like that at all. And speaking of which, but I think it's going to change here on Data Under Sea. We're in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand quarter but also sneaking out a drone across the map.
Oh my god.
Our loser player representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. He is Dark.
I just want a normal game. Oh my god, as he commits to the proxy hatchmate and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, getting proxied. Also, once again, throwing down his racks in a very interesting position. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Oh my god.
When we got into the loading screen, I thought for sure this was going to be our normal game. If we can only have one normal game, this has got to be the map for it, right? Dark thinks differently.
Yeah. So a couple of things here. One, I'm really perplexed as to the positioning here of this rack for ByuN. It is slightly closer, so his Reaper opener is going to get across the map like a couple of seconds faster, I guess. But yeah, it's something that you really don't see too often at all. It's like, it's crazy.
He's got to block the lings from jumping up.
The Reaper. Yeah. The campaign lings that can jump. True.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Meanwhile, Dark is committed to the proxy. I imagine he's going to be going for a Roach Warren. There we go. Roach Warren is thrown down once again. I guess the plus side is that the production from ByuN is actually pretty safe. Like, if the Ravagers show up and they pile down the depot wall, like, you know, the add-ons, at least on the racks, are going to be safe and sound.
Counterpoint, the wall is not a wall.
It's true. And it's not going to be a wall with the lack of factory as well. Oh my god. So ByuN, his Reaper is getting across the map, and now he's getting his first eyes. He didn't go for an SCV scout either, unfortunately, so he's only just now getting eyes on things. He recognizes, oh my god, there's no hatchery.
Something is up, and something is killing my SCV.
Ooh.
Forced to cancel that natural base, which is always unfortunate. But I'm hoping that this time, ByuN actually does commit to defending.
Yeah, I mean, canceling the natural is very important right now because he just confirmed his opponent is basically one base all in with their economy. So he has to just focus on the defense. He's getting a bunker up and running. Again, his production is quite safe and sound. We have our add-ons on the way. Unfortunately, this also means that it's going to take a little bit longer for his units to actually get onto the front lines and get onto this wall. So I'm really curious to see how the SimCity is, if at all, is going to come into play in this defense as Dark is rocking up here with his Ravagers.
Like so, just trying to bile down these depots. Real good use of AoE there, taking out or targeting two buildings at the same time. It's very important for Dark right now to keep this Overlord alive because this is giving him high ground vision. ByuN is well aware of that. He's getting a Cyclone to try to deal with it, but I'm not sure if it's going to come out in time.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. Meanwhile, the first depot goes down. The second one could go down as well. Again, this Overlord is so important. That's why we have a Cyclone on the way. The goal of the Cyclone is to get a lock-on on that Overlord and shut down that vision. Meanwhile, ByuN gets supply blocked.
Very hard supply blocked. At the very least, he does have a Cyclone out before that block could come into effect, but this is still hurting him a lot.
It really is, and Dark is actually transitioning. Dark is droning right now as we speak, is droning up his proxy hatchery location. We have Link Speed as well. This entire time he's mainly been making roaches, but now he can bust on in and flood with lings.
Yeah, it's what he's planning to do, really. Just avoid the bunker entirely. Go straight for the mineral line.
Exactly, and ByuN is having a really hard time. He does have a tank on the way, and the tank will be able to secure his position here on the high ground, but expanding and taking the low ground, taking your natural, is going to be so difficult for ByuN.
Not impossible, I would say. Even these repairs, I mean, it's a good thing. It's good for ByuN to keep this... it's good for ByuN to keep this bunker alive, but every time he repairs, he's bleeding out resources.
He really is. Like, ByuN is ahead of the workers, but he can't really make use of that, oh my god, of that advantage that he has. He picks off one Ravager, just barely keeps Cyclone alive.
And we'll be repairing it immediately, like so.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do see a pretty important scout here from ByuN. He gets across the map to try and see if we have another expansion. Ooh, the Reaper is going to go down. Link Speed has been revealed. Meanwhile, I love how annoying Dark is being. He's spreading creep towards into the bases of ByuN.
And I like this as well. He's making spore crawlers just so he can have some anti-air in case ByuN goes for Banshees or for Liberators to try to defend against this.
Yeah, I mean, 1-1-1s are quite a common response here to break out of these contains. We do see a scan. We do have a lock-on at least one of these. Oh my god, one of those tumors, but the friendly fire.
That was insane. The Cyclone goes down, not to a Ravager, but to a tank.
Smoge, Papi, Smoge. ByuN is looking to try and expand here. He has lifted up his orbital. He's going to have to clear up some of these tumors if he really wants to take this, though. Slow and steady is the game for ByuN.
Yeah, slow and aggressive, however, is going to be the game for Dark.
Yeah, he's doing a great job in containing his opponent. He's spreading even more creep as well, just to force even more scans to try and expand. Dark is taking a third hatchery across the map as is natural, and he's making more lings.
It took me a while to process what you just said there, but yeah, Dark is finally expanding. I'm like, wait, that's his natural base. I'm like, ooh.
Yo, the Ravagers coming from the south. ByuN was not expecting that a couple of bars are going to be going off, but he does not get the tank.
Yeah, and that's really, really important right now. Tanks are the backbone of the Terran defense. And it looks like ByuN has just enough Marines to finally break out of his contain.
Ooh, exactly. Everything's going to get cleaned up there. The biles are not enough either to bring down that tank. We saw that Dark was trying to lure ByuN onto the creep and get us around, but he just didn't have the numbers. ByuN is expanding, and look at this tank count, mate. We are pushing out with 4 tanks.
4 tanks and stim. That's about halfway done. Dark is suddenly in a lot of trouble.
He really is. Like, he would be okay if he had saved those Ravagers and used them defensively, but looking at the unit's loss tab, he lost 10 Ravagers, and that's it.
GG is called. ByuN is going to be taking game number 3 here, defending against a very cheeky proxy coming out of Dark.
GG. I think Dark was... It felt like Dark was in a pretty good position, but we saw that when he went for that surround, when he was trying to bait the Marines in, and when he went for the dive, it cost him his entire army there, and as a result, he just didn't have anything left for any kind of counterattack.
Yeah, he was absolutely convinced, I think, that he would be able to take out those tanks, and from there, snowball the aggression, but he didn't count on ByuN being the fastest repairer in Data.
It was, I don't know if you know, it was so sad. Every single time it was like he needed one more bile to kill a tank. Just one, uno más, papi, uno más. But every single time he just barely was coming up short.
Yeah, it would be like, there would be like a second delay before the final bile hit. You know, every time he's like, all right, 3 biles to take out a tank. It's like, all right, 2 biles land at once. And then the third is like 2 seconds too late. ByuN is able to repair just enough health to survive 1 more bile.
Oh boy, so yeah, very solid kind of defense there from ByuN, able to keep his tank count quite nice and safe, as well as his Marines, and hit that wonderful counterattack timing. And now we're getting into game number 4.
Oh boy, please be a normal game.
We're not gonna get it, mate. It's not happening. It's just not happening.
Oh well, time to embrace the chaos.
Exactly. What haven't we seen yet?
A gold base.
True.
I wasn't Cosmic Sapphire yet, which I'm okay with personally. Anyway, we are going to be continuing our best of 5 grand finals here on Stargazers. We're in the top left-hand corner of the map, running all the way. In that top left-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. The crumpler of portraits, question mark. I tried to come up with a good title for him. He is Dark.
And spawning in the top right hand corner, but also in the middle of, oh my god, in the middle of the map, going for a proxy 2-rax, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN.
We're never getting a normal game. We're never getting a macro game in this series.
It's just not happening, mate. Okay, so Proxy 2-rax is very uncommitted. You can transition safely out of this. Dark opens up pool first, though. He does delay his hatchery, so this is kind of best case scenario here for Dark.
Yeah. It's going to be able to have a couple of links here to defend. We'll see if it's Marines or Reapers coming out, and it is Marines.
Yeah, we do have a couple of SCVs as well to throw down those bunkers. Dark hasn't seen this yet. He will soon once his overlord gets across the map to confirm that the Rax is missing, but these bunkers have already commenced here, so it's a bit of a late reaction for Dark. He's not going to be able to deny these bunkers.
Yeah, I'm not liking his chances right now.
Oh boy, yeah, I mean, he's throwing down a spine crawler in his main base. Lings are popping out here, but again, these 2 Lings are going to have a hard time doing too much. It looks like they're going to try and slip past the army. Up. Oh.
Them barely will not survive. No scouting information here coming out for Dark.
Yeah, and now the first bunker is done. We have a second bunker on the way. Dark is responding with a Roach Warren. I don't know how I feel about this. Dark should recognize that this is not a 3-rax, but he's going for a much more committed response. It looks like he may even be accepting the fact that he's going to be losing his hatchery.
Yeah, I think he's planning to give that up now. Repositioning a spine crawler into the main base and just grouping together his units here. Of course, we are on Stargazer, so there is a bit of a pseudo pocket base that Dark could try to rebuild at.
Yeah, he definitely could, but this is already too much damage. Like, for a 2 racks to kill the hatchery, like, it's already paid for itself. Like, all right, we've already done the damage that we need to. And look at this, ByuN is going for a full wall off right now.
Because why the hell not? He can afford it. He's so many.
Yeah, he's just walling Dark into his own corner of the map right now, and from here, ByuN can transition. He's already lifted up his Raxes. He's already coming back home.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping he would just make more Marines and fill up all of these bunkers. Because why the hell not? I mean, I was gonna say, could Dark go for a Nidus, but then again, he can't afford a lair.
Yeah, he can't quite afford a lair right now. He's making Ravagers. He's eventually going to be able to break free, but then he has to counterattack immediately. Like, he's being forced all in right now, and ByuN, he has his factory on the way. He's getting a reactor, not a tech lab, so he's not going to be making any tanks back at home, but regardless, he will have something.
That he very much will. Slow bile down here from these Ravagers. ByuN, surprisingly, still looking to repair them.
Yeah, just to buy as much time as possible, you know, just to contain his opponent for as long as he can. Another bunker is going to be going down. We haven't gotten a single salvage off, so, you know, Dark is trading as best as he can, and he will eventually break free.
Yeah, honestly, with as many bunkers that ByuN has right now, this is starting to become too high of an investment since he didn't salvage those bunkers. And now, Dark's going for the full counterattack.
Yeah, Dark hasn't been droning, by the way. There's no hatchery in sight. Dark is committed to a 1 base all-in right now. Back at home, yeah, we have that tank on the way. We had an add-on swap there, and the tanks are going to be crucial in the defense.
Like so. He also has a bunker in a pretty good position, I would say, but yeah, the Super Depot being that far forward isn't exactly a great sign for Terran.
True. Dark could try and supply block ByuN, but I mean, he's already got a second tank on the way. Like, I don't know if Dark can ever break through and kill his opponent. We'll see as the tank does unsiege here. It's going to be moving on forward, going to be a little bit more exposed as the depots are being piled down.
Ooh. Just like that, ByuN surprisingly not supply blocked.
Yeah, he was ready for this. The wall is not a wall. The Lings are flooding on in. He's trying to get on top of these tanks. The Biles will take care of one of them.
And also the bunker on top of that.
But there's a second tank behind this, and that second tank is the real MVP. Dark just doesn't have enough momentum. He doesn't have enough production. He doesn't have enough larva to really break on through and to snowball.
Yeah, all the while, Dark is just biling down whatever he can. Finally, ByuN gets supply blocked.
Yeah, Dark behind this is trying to drone up, but look at the worker differential. Look at the disparity here. It's massive.
It is huge, and ByuN is still looking to block expansions here from Dark.
What? He's going for an Angie block on the third. What an animal. The drone shows up and he can't throw it down.
Yeah. But you know what? This is going to invoke Dark's wrath, I think. I mean, now Dark is going to go for the gold base. Well, he finishes the eBay?
He finishes the eBay, and ByuN is already at the gold. He knows that Dark's only way back in is the gold base.
Is he actually gonna build? Is he actually gonna take the gold, or is he just gonna try to block it for Dark? That's what I want to know. SCV, what do you got for us?
Throw down the eBay, Papi. Do it again. Oh my god, as Dark, he brings his entire army back home to deal with this engineering bay. He will finally be able to clean it up and finally try to expand here. But I'm just we're all just waiting for ByuN to finish up his upgrades. We are gonna have Stim on the way. There we go. And I don't think ByuN is gonna move out before Stim, but once he has it, can Dark stop it?
I highly doubt it. You say we're waiting for ByuN to finish up his upgrades. I say I'm waiting for ByuN to take that gold, but he doesn't. He pulls away.
Yeah, he pulls away.
SCV.
SCV is going to rotate up instead. I'm sure he wants to scout to see if his opponent is actually expanding and taking a third. It's going to be quite important for him to actually confirm that, as Dark is trying to heavily drone and catch back up. Lair is on the way for Roach speed, I imagine. Yeah, Dark is still in a really, really rough place.
Yeah, we're kind of just waiting for the inevitable at this point. Like
Yep.
you said, we're waiting for ByuN to finish his upgrades. Stim is about halfway done. A couple of medevacs are going to be out, and it's going to be very tough for Dark to be able to defend this timing.
Yeah, the only way for him to defend is if he somehow gets the most money shots for his Ravagers. If the bios are literally perfect, and if somehow ByuN walks into them with his Marines, then sure, it is possible for Dark to survive and to stabilize, definitely. But I think we think better of ByuN, you know? Like, I don't think that that's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see.
Indeed, we shall. Moving across the map, Dark does see this with his Lings and will be repositioning.
Yeah, you know, he's got his Queen, he's got a Spine Crawler as well. You know, Dark, this is the best time for him, or the best kind of position for him to defend. So he does deflect the double drop for the time being. ByuN is forced to unload, and he's going to be forced to try and clean up some of this creep. Meanwhile, 1-1 is on the way. We have our upgrades for both players. I love this from Dark. He's going for an Infestation Pit. I think he plans to go into Infestors, and these energy-based units are a way to come back.
Yeah, he's going for Infestors. He's getting +1 range. I mean, but now, there we go.
Yep.
Getting really good fungals will allow him to nail those money shot biles you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Fungals are really what we have to rely on here as a Zerg player, as Dark. Can he pull it off? Because before the Infestors are out, the Marines are here.
Yeah, clearing up creep, but not really finding much economic damage.
Yeah, we're just kind of distracting Dark right now, keeping his attention back at home, bearing in mind that we don't have pathogen glands, so even though the Infestors are about to pop out, they will not have enough energy for fungals.
Yeah, they're gonna have to wait a little while. What is it, 75 energy for a fungal? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. We have to wait a little bit longer here for the energy to gather on up. Meanwhile, we're also going for Burrow. We could be going for Tunneling Claws. Again, a great way to counterattack from this position as well. Meanwhile, ByuN has been taking this quite slow and steady, just poking, prodding where he can. It looks like he's going to be able to catch some of these roaches.
Okay, not quite.
Yeah, 2 roaches going to be going down. Yeah, he actually did get eyes on the Infestors as well, so now he's going to be ready to even pre-split or just have an eye out for them.
And once again, yeah, it's going to be tough for Dark to really deal with, but it also, I guess, does depend on how well you're just able to, whatchamacallit, really good fungals this time on the Force in the South. An entire medevac worth of units got taken out.
Yeah, very nicely done here, Dark. You know, he's slowly evening up. He's investing into pathogen glands. He's very committed to this Ravager Infestor play. But ByuN is finally moving out. He has 1-1. He's got 2-2 on the horizon. He's just been poking and prodding with drops up until this point. Now it's his main army.
Yeah, it's his main army plus the drops. Going for a bit of a backstab or a multi-prong, I imagine. It's usually how it pays off. Why are the tank siege so far behind?
Yeah, I don't know. The tanks and the mines are set up to like defend against a counterattack or defend the 4th base as it gets taken on location. So very conservative play from ByuN. It feels like he doesn't want to take any risks right now. He knows how far ahead he is, and he doesn't really have the killer instinct. Like he just doesn't want to throw it away.
Yeah, he's toying with him a little bit, like a cat.
Good ByuN.
Yeah, like a Mao.
Oh boy, here we go. But we have the unsieged. ByuN is finally moving out with his entire army here. Just was playing it safe earlier, but now feels confident enough with what he has. 2-2 should finish up in the middle of our next fight for ByuN. 2-2 is still a little bit more of a ways off for Dark.
Yeah, but if ByuN delays any longer, then Dark will be even on those upgrades. May even get ahead, depending on how diligent he is to his upgrade count. A big skirmish in the south here. Infestors don't get the best fungals off just yet.
Yeah, they actually got zoned away by a handful of Marauders. They were trying to focus down the Infestors and almost got one of them. At the same time, we do have a double jump coming in towards the 4th base location, dragging the army of Dark to respond.
And just like so, he is forced back.
He's even forced back into his main base. Nice target firing there by those queens. He's able to focus down the medevacs. I believe he does get both full medevacs.
It's a lot of supply now going down the drain here for ByuN. Dark, meanwhile, remaxing his army quite a bit. Still relying on roaches and ravagers, but he has the tech available for him to transition out of it if he whenever he so chooses.
Yeah, we have a stim on forward here from ByuN. He wants to try and focus down these Ravagers. We do have a Fungal does connect.
A pretty huge fungal at that, but the Biles weren't quite so good, unfortunately. Here's a huge backstab from behind with all these links, though, and with these Roaches and Ravagers. All of a sudden, Dark's army's in a good place.
Yeah, he does take the fight. He doesn't lose too much, but the problem is that he's been forced to cut a lot of drones to make this army happen. Like, his economic situation is not looking too good right now. He's kind of relying on this one big army.
And it's not the most sophisticated one at that.
Yeah, oh my god, we have so many Marauders for ByuN. It's mainly Marauder, not Marine. Oh my god.
I mean, can't say I blame him too much there. He knows what he's up against, and slowing down these Infestors is, I guess, the next best thing to completely taking them out.
Yeah, and once again, we're forcing another trade here for Dark. He has to rebuild what he is losing. Nice target firing. Another Infestor is going to go down to those Marauders. Dark is doing a decent job at just stemming the tide here, at holding on. He's trying to re-drone behind this.
Trying and kind of succeeding. I mean, he's finally caught back up on the worker count, but...
yeah,
it doesn't seem like something that would be a massive win right now for Dark.
He just needs a little bit more time, but ByuN is so in his face right now. Dark just finished up a Lurker Den, and he's making Hydras. He wants to get into Lurkers, and that'll be an amazing way to just slow down the game, and just try and solidify yourself on these 4 bases and maybe take a 5th, but ByuN is pulling him apart.
Like so.
Oh,
multi-pronged. One base will go down to the south. The other base in the north will be kept alive.
Yeah, Dark knocked down to only 3 mining bases. Very nice target firing there by ByuN to focus down that hatchery with those Marauders. And Dark is still being starved out. He's being choked out. He does have Groove Spines on the way. He's actually got a Nidus on the way.
I was gonna say, do you see what I see? Because I see ByuN completely defensive back at home.
True, this is a way for Dark to finally be the aggressor. We'll see if he can survive that long. Right now, he's just preoccupied trying to deal with this aggression. We do see the Lurkers are out.
And the Lurkers will burrow. There is a scan, but the Ghost unfortunately not quite able to land their snipes. Dark's still bleeding out a couple of units, but there are enough workers to completely chase us back. Lurkers to completely chase us back. The workers don't really do much.
Yeah, I mean, with the power of the Lunker, we can defend, but ByuN knows that there aren't that many Lurkers out right now. He's just dropping into the main base. He's avoiding the location where those Lurkers are, and he's finding damage elsewhere.
Yeah, forces a lot of these Infestors to use up their energy. Hasn't quite been able to take them out yet, but he is shaving off Lings and is shaving off Ravages.
Yeah, right now, Dark is basically just stuck on the defense, trying to build this Lurker count up high enough to finally just have some room to breathe. He's not there yet, though. He only has 6 Lurkers. We do see another drop coming in from the south, another from the north, a bit of a tri-front attack coming in from ByuN.
It is what he has been known for many, many times. Lurkers are doing a decent job of defending that 3rd base, doing a very good job of defending that other 3rd.
Yeah, the southern base does hold, but I don't know if you noticed, Dark just lost, I think, 3 or 4 Lurkers at the triangular 3rd. The snipes were looking pretty good from ByuN, and every single time that's all he needs. He just has to pick off a couple of Lurkers here and there because ByuN has been left alone at home. He's taking his 5th base right now. He's ahead in bases. That's something you don't see too often in this matchup, and Dark just hasn't had the room, the breathing room to counterattack at all.
Yeah, despite getting that Nidus, Dark hasn't really had an opportunity to utilize it yet.
Yeah, just ByuN is just constantly in his face. Even here in the main base, we have the snipes that are going to be going off here on top of these Lurkers. 1, 2 Lurkers go down.
Just like so, and pretty much every other unit follows suit.
Exactly. Meanwhile, mate, that Nidus that you were talking about, it is going to be going up in the pocket base of ByuN. Finally, Dark goes for a counterattack.
And these Lurkers are having an absolute field day.
Yeah, they forced the lift up. Nice pull, though, from ByuN. He does save the majority of his workers. There we go. He's going to pull the boys here to try and buffer. Fungal does connect with the army. Does deny a lot of snipes, but there's just too much bio.
Way too much. Everything gets cleaned out, and whatever doesn't is forced back into the Nidus Worm. Which isn't a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of workers did just go down, which is nice for Dark, but that was an expensive fight. He lost... I want to say around 7 or 8 lurkers there, and he also lost a couple of infestors.
Let's see here, 16 total throughout this entire game, so yeah, I imagine the bulk of it was in that engagement.
Yeah, that's a little bit brutal. We're down to 2 infestors remaining. Oh my god, they don't have any energy either for Fungals. Dark is trying to go for a bit of a waddle buy. He has a hit squad of 3 lurkers coming in towards the south. Oh no, never mind.
Immediately gets sniped. That's with 1 lurker left to tell the tale. Not for much longer.
Smurge. Oh, again, these are just losses that Dark can't afford right now. He has expanded. He's taken the base towards the south, but he just lost his lurkers that otherwise would have been here to defend.
And as we all know, Lunkas are busted.
They're busted. You only need 1. True.
Yeah. Fortunately for Dark, he hasn't been able to afford that only 1.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. The force towards the south is pushing on in. The 1 lurker gets focused down immediately. GG gets called. It's just a little bit too much, and ByuN will take the series at 3-1.
Just like that, ByuN is in fact going to be the champion of ESL Open Cup North America, Americas 155.
There you go. GG, well played. Oh boy, that final game was quite rough there for Dark. You know, we saw that he almost came back. It was kind of, you spoke about it earlier in the day. You were talking about this matchup and how, unlike others, like, it can be really difficult to recover once you're behind just because of how snowbally it is. I think we saw that here, where Dark was really struggling after the 2 racks, and he knew what he needed to do to come back. He knew, like, the kind of Hail Mary plays that he needed, like going into infestors, going into lunkers, but throughout the entire game, like, he was behind. He didn't have any momentum going for him. There's a reason why he was stuck in his bases the entire time, and it was only thanks to the Nidus that he was able to do something on the other side of the map.
Yeah, and even then, by that point, it was too little too late. You know, ByuN was already far ahead when it comes to tech, when it comes to upgrades. Losing those couple of SCVs that he was barely a scratch in the overall economy that he had.
Yeah, it really was. Like, Dark needed something else to come back. He needed a really good fight, but every single engagement, like these small skirmishes that ByuN was going for, he was just trading so efficiently. There was like maybe 1 or 2 moments where we saw some really good fungals, but we needed more of that. And again, I'm sure Dark knew that as well. He just had a hard time finding those opportunities, just because ByuN was so on point with his attention.
Exactly. Despite it being, you know, really early in the morning there for Korea. Well, I guess at that point it would be a little bit later when you get to the finals, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, around like midday-ish, 11 a.m., something like that. Regardless, GG, well played to all of our players here today. You know, Dark, despite struggling in the finals, like, he still made a really good showing of it. We didn't get a single normal game in the finals.
Yeah.
It was just hyper aggression from both
final
sides.
game was the one that was, I think, most economic, but even then, it was still really weird.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it started with the 2 racks, with a proxy 2 racks. I have to distinguish that because we've had a lot of 2 racks openers this game, and most of them not proxied. I'm still blown away by game 1 on Tropical Sacrifice. The 2
4 racks all in.
Yeah, the 4 racks all in was crazy. It was crazy. But GG, well played. I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves as well. Yeah, we had quite a lot of fun here. We had quite an interesting run as well from a lot of our players. Massive shout out to Max Pax. He didn't make it to the finals, but for him to stay up after winning ESL Open Cup EU and making it as far as he did, like that was also quite impressive.
It absolutely was. I mean, that would be overall what I think 8 or 9, maybe even more hours for him, just non-stop competing.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot of stamina.
It really is. It's something that not a lot of players are able to do, but you know, Max, he has it in him to pull it off. So yeah, GG, well played. Right now we're just having a look at the bracket itself. ESL Open Cup Americas, you know, does have quite a massive bracket, and yeah, a lot of amazing players did compete. We weren't able to cast every match, unfortunately, but you know, towards the end we got the important ones. Oh, Nightmare in the quarterfinals actually took a game off of Cure.
Oh,
yeah.
Pretty neat. I mean, yeah, he's gonna be playing tomorrow as well.
He will be. So yeah, some other impressive results here from some of these other players. For Jumi is another dedicated player who stayed up and played in this as well.
Yeah, another one of those EU boys. Did get knocked out by Clem in the I want to say quarterfinals of ESL EU, but yeah, I mean, the fact that he was able to stay up after that was it's pretty impressive.
Definitely. So shout out to all the players that did compete in this weekly tournament. And yeah, unfortunately in the finals as well, we didn't really get to see too much of the new patch either, just because of the compositions. We did see it a little bit more. Yeah.
Sure. I think we know what ZvT and TVZ is gonna look like in the new patch after witnessing that.
Sure. Just hyper aggression all around. We're just gonna avoid the late game entirely. But yeah, we saw a little bit more of that with Dark versus Cure. We saw the new Ultras. We were able to see the Ravens really come into play early on in the TVTs and even some of the TVPs as well. So yeah, exciting times.
Yeah. Really looking forward to see how a lot of the players just come up with a new meta in this new patch. It's, I think, it's a very interesting patch, to say the least, because I feel like a lot of the changes that have been made are ones that are very visible changes. You know, in the past, a lot of the kind of changes that they've made and a lot of balance patches were a bit more subtle.
Like,
so you know,
like
you really have to
time.
Yeah, like bunker build time and salvage time and refund. So you really have to see it in effect side by side with the previous patch to get a sense of what it will look like. But now, I mean, you can see how small Ultras are. You can see how fast Brute Lords are. See how reduced the you can see how reduced the radius of disruptors are. The healing rate of Super Battery.
Yeah,
you know, you can. I think the only one where it's not so visible is Terran, but even then, you know, you can really, like the Ghost especially, you can really tell what changes have been made.
Yeah. I think we haven't had an opportunity yet to see how the Ghost, the cancel of the snipe comes into play, just because we haven't had too much Ultra versus Ghost or Lurker or like that kind of late game scenario where we have the mass Ghost. We had a bit of a late game, but like Cure struggled to get there. So yeah, I really look forward to eventually seeing that kind of back and forth dynamic and the counterplay available as well to Zerg. I know the mass Ghost in that matchup was a bit of a meme, and I know a lot of people had issues with it, and this change may change how Terran approach it and their overall compositions as well. And the playstyles. I know a lot of people are worried that it's just going to force Terran to be even more turtley, which may be true, which maybe won't be a good thing, but we'll see if like there is a solution is found to that. And hopefully we don't get nothing but that, especially in like say Mario versus Dark and GSL and stuff like that, where we just have giga long games.
The solution is to 4 racks all in.
True. That is the solution. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for tuning in tonight. So that is the end of our ESL Americas coverage. If you want some more ESL Open Cup action, we are going to be casting ESL Asia this Sunday live, not from replays, number 156, and I will be casting alongside Chase as long as he wakes up.
Yeah. everybody Funara Chase on Sunday. You know, it is going to be New Year's Day.
True.
But, you know, you should be awake.
He should be, mate. We got nothing better to do. We got nothing better to do, Papi. Yeah, I hope everyone has had a great, some great holidays as well, whether you celebrate Christmas or if you celebrate a different kind of holiday instead. I hope you have been enjoying yourselves. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, and tomorrow we're also going to be live casting World Team League.
Yep. Gonna be a little bit of a more jam-packed broadcast tomorrow. It is the makeup for last week, there not being a broadcast for WTL, or having the matches for WTL up postponed a little bit. So trying to get that all finished up as quickly as possible so that WTL can proceed as per normal. The Ducklings are going to be playing tomorrow as well. That's how we're spending our New Year's Eve.
There you go. Yep. We're gonna be spending it just to non-stop casting, mate. Non-stop casting. Aye. So be sure to be there if you are free New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, because we're gonna be here live on the CranKy Ducklings. Meanwhile, Yaku, if people were to find you, if you ever did stream again, where would it be?
It would be over at twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. Normally I'd say follow me at Empore Yakuzaku for announcements when I go live, but I need the new TOS explained to me about Twitter and links. Other than that, but regardless, you can still !Discord in the chat. I am there, Light is there, Kuro is there. And most importantly, the bot that announces when people go live, when one of us goes live, is there. Steelbolt is there. Milk and Cookies, the mother duck, as he is called now, is also there. So, yeah, let's join around.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
Make sure you're a part of it. You can follow me at @_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I try to stream throughout the week, and I usually do, but because we've been casting every day, and it has been a daily cast here on the CranKy Ducklings, I have been focusing my energy on that. Haven't been streaming too much, haven't been laddering too much either, but I'm sure those ladder sessions will come back in the coming weeks, so you can follow me there if you're interested on my own personal Twitch channel. Otherwise, if you're only interested in our casting content, then follow us here on the CranKy Ducklings. We're all over the place. !socials in the chat for links to all of our social media. All of our VODs are uploaded to our YouTube channel, so if you can't tune in live, and if you enjoy us, and if you want to tune into some of the VODs, because we do a lot of casting at a lot of different hours, then check us out on YouTube, !YouTube in the chat as well. Oh, our next cast is going to be in less than 24 hours, so yeah, we're also actually going to be competing in World Team League as well tomorrow.
Yeah, Bill, so everybody get your cheerfuls ready. For our ducks. It's not showing up because of the background.
There it is. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Oh my god, get your cheerfuls ready for our final week in World Team League. We're going to be playing against Shopify Rebellion. We're going to be playing against Lambo, Scarlet, and ByuN.
I cannot wait for the Vindicta Scarlet match, personally. But I think overall it's going to be a very spicy match.
Oh yeah, very spicy indeed, so be sure to be there. Meanwhile, Yaku, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
So I have a question that popped into my head at the start of today's broadcast.
Go for it.
Is Baby Lynx Italian?
No.
It's because of Baby Marine.
We did. Are they related?
Yeah. Are they?
It is possible. Speaking of, Baby Lynx is streaming right now, and we are going to be giving her a raid, so give her some love, give her some support.
Some Mamma Mia's.
Not Italian.
She is now.
Aye. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, ciao.
Bella.